Hey guys, Bix Weir, roadtoroota.com, coming to you on Sunday, September 2nd. Kind of a weekly update and a get ready for September warning. Warning and heads up that lots of things coming down in September. It's going to be crazy September, crazy October in the markets. Those of you who are buying cryptos, yes, it's going up. Now this is when all the top callers are going to come out, so keep an eye out for Chris Dwayne and all those guys who are upset that they didn't get in the early days. And it is absolutely the early days in this technology, in the blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies. Yes, most of them will disappear, but you'll also have your Facebooks and Amazons and Apple computers that spring up out of this revolutionary change. It is very much like the invention of the World Wide Web in 1990, how that created an amazing industry, and why you're looking at this video today was that technology change. This is the same kind of change, except this is replacing money, and we all know how corrupt our current monetary system is, and this is a great way out of that mess without killing millions of people by destroying the system altogether. A second system is being built right next to the current system, and everything will transition over. You're seeing that in the rise of the cryptocurrencies and the businesses. That's what I'm really excited about, is the businesses that are being built on blockchain technology. Cryptocurrencies, yes, absolutely. The good ones will survive. I would say no more than 10 will be around. Right now there's 850. So you go to the top 10 and you could say, oh, maybe 8 of those will be in the top 10 in 6 months, and the rest will be gone. I'm a big fan of Litecoin. Bitcoin, yeah, sometime in the future would be safe. After you get past all these forks and they figure out which is the real Bitcoin, I think it would be safe to get back into Bitcoin. But for now, why even bother with it? Ethereum and Litecoin are your call if you're thinking about a cryptocurrency type of thing. Ethereum's not really a currency. It's more business, a business model, and it's a facilitator of all these blockchain companies that are coming online. Having said that, one company I still am just so excited about, really two companies I'm really excited about. Veritasium is going to rule the world. Veritasium is going to take the criminality out of the exchanges, out of the COMEX, out of the LBMA, out of the New York stock market, all the markets. Veritasium is a solution for getting rid of the bad guys. It's peer-to-peer transactions. That's what the world needs. Get the bankers outside of being the middleman. We can't trust them, and they suck all that profit out. There's no need for them anymore. Now that we have computers and Veritasium is a peer-to-peer exchange, Reggie Middleton's working hard out there. I don't care what the price does between now and the time when I think people will recognize it as the company that it is, which is between now and 2018, 2019. That's when it's really going to shine. That's when it shines in Cliff's data. Reggie's working hard to get the first thing going, and it's actually happening. Most of these blockchain companies are, they promise great things, but those great things are in 2018, 2019, 2020. And they might work out. I do think a lot of them are great ideas, and they need to be built and tested and implemented and then accepted. So there is a long lead time. Reggie's lead time is not that long, and he's working hard with the Jamaican Stock Exchange right now on a few different initiatives. One to make them money, which is an odd thing for a stock exchange to do, but take the criminality out of it. And I think once that is proven, a lot of other things can be proven. Another huge company is going to be Salt, and I know everybody who's invested in Salt is excited about it. At first, it was like, oh my God, the price went up from $1.50 to $12.50 in the membership drive. That's nothing. People don't even understand how much costs and expense gets pulled out of the loan package when something like smart contracts are involved. You don't need lawyers. You don't need administrative people. You don't need contract administrators. You don't need any of that stuff that the bankers used to take their money out of the transaction. And I'm real excited for Salt to be put into action. I'm hearing November, December, we'll be able to get our first Salt loans. These are crypto-backed collateral loans the way loans are meant to be, not that the bankers hold you by the throat and say, you have to have this credit score and you have to have this and this for us to give you this money that we created out of thin air. It's our right and our privilege over you, and everything you do, according to us, is absolutely, we'll come after you. Even if your house is underwater, we're going to come after you for the balance. These are non-recourse loans, meaning only your crypto that you put up as collateral can be taken. They can't come after you for whatever you buy with that crypto, the loan money. They can't take your house. They can't do anything. These are loans that are based on your collateral. Non-recourse, meaning there's no recourse to the borrower, only to the collateral. And for the banks, it's great because they can perfect their collateral right away. You know, if the smart contract is not lived up to, they don't even have to do anything. It is automatically taken care of. That part of your crypto will be sold and used to pay down the loan back to the needed balance of equity versus the loan, the needed collateral coverage. So really exciting stuff. And Salt guys are smart, and they got a whole bunch of other things that people aren't even talking. There's a debit card associated with a line of credit with Salt. So anybody who was always wondering, oh my God, how are we going to use cryptocurrencies in real life? Well, you got a debit card, and it'll work everywhere debit cards work. So real exciting stuff. I think there's a lot more announcements coming from Salt even before the first loans are done and the world gets to participate in that world, and it's all happening in 2017. So yeah, Salt, it's not trading yet on the exchanges. I'm hearing a lot of rumors that it will be widespread, that people really want to buy it and sell it and participate. There's talk of a interest-bearing lockup period, if you want, type of thing. But Salt will announce all the stuff they're working on between now and the implementation. And I think everybody should own some. If you have cryptocurrencies, you're going to want to own some Salt because you can leverage that up. You can even buy more cryptos if you wanted. And it's better than just having, I'm a big buy and hold guy. I look for the right businesses on the blockchain. I look for the right cryptocurrencies, and I look for things to happen over time. So I'm a big buy and hold guy. Litecoin is proving that out right now. I've been talking about Litecoin for a long time, that it's going to take the place of what Bitcoin is dropping off. Bitcoin is dropping out of the means of exchange formula. And Litecoin is absolutely doing everything they can to get cheaper and faster. And that's what the means of exchange is all about. So that whole gigantic part of what Bitcoin was born for as a means of exchange, Bitcoin, the core developers have decided, no, we're just going to concentrate on a store of value, which leaves this gaping hole for 7 billion people on planet Earth to find a different coin to use as a means of exchange. And that's going to be Litecoin. It's real exciting. And we've just started to see it with the introduction of the first Lightning Network trade that Charlie Lee was successful at doing the first one. So Lightning Network is going to fit perfectly with what Litecoin is trying to do, and I'm really excited for it. Yeah, the stock's doubled in the last few days. The currency, that's a cryptocurrency, has doubled. It'll double again and double again and double again. I think Litecoin will be at a minimum of 1/4 of the price of Bitcoin. Probably when the banks crash, Litecoin will eclipse the market value of Bitcoin because it's more useful. Who's going to want to keep everything in storage in Bitcoin that's not useful, that you can do daily transactions? Whereas Litecoin, you can do, 7 billion people are going to use it. So very excited, as you can tell, for Litecoin. But all these things, because the cryptos have started the next tooth up, you're going to hear all the guys saying, oh my God, the government's going to take it over, and there's an ACC chain, and the government's going to create their own Bitcoin. I wish the government would create their own Bitcoin cryptocurrency. I wish they would. If they did it right, it would be a wonderful thing. Decentralized, where they don't control it, and there's no central bank looking to abuse the monetary system, a fixed supply, all that stuff that makes Bitcoin so great. Yeah, I think governments around the world will do that, and they should do that. Absolutely. It doesn't, just because government invents it doesn't make it bad. As long as they do it in the name of their people, and the people can see what's going on and understand that there's no criminality going on like there is at the Federal Reserve Bank right now. I think, yeah, that is the way of the future. I think every country will have their own currency based on some kind of blockchain technology. And remember, the real blockchain technology is decentralized control. So it's kind of hard for a government to do it, to not have control. So it will never be fully implemented around the world if it's centralized control. Whereas things like Bitcoin and Litecoin with decentralized control, thousands of nodes all approving transactions and making sure everything is done above board. That's the good stuff. And I am I'm in favor of regulation, sensible regulation, but not stifling regulation. I think sensible regulation would be set up to protect people who are involved in the cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, not to kill it off. Like all the FUD guys will say, oh, they're going to kill Bitcoin. They're not going to kill Bitcoin. It's actually part of the plan of the good guys is to implement a sound monetary system. Bitcoin will be worldwide. It's not. Most of it goes on in Asia right now. It's got nothing to do with the United States. If the United States outlaws cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, then every other country in the world will do much, much better than the United States. So any country that outlaws Bitcoin is insane because they'll get just destroyed because that's where the future is going. And yeah, I'm sure a country here or there will try to outlaw it, but it won't last long. Already in Venezuela, they've been putting rules and controls around it, and the people are saying, screw you, and they're overthrowing their government. If the United States try to do that, nobody really cares what the United States tries to do in the cryptocurrency world. We don't make the laws of the world. We make the laws within the United States. And if our government is so stupid as to stifle that technology, it's time to move somewhere else. I don't think they will at all. First of all, half of Congress owns Bitcoin and some of the cryptocurrencies. They've been involved for a long time. And the CIA and the NSA were involved at the very beginning, I believe. And I can't prove this yet, but someday I will be able to. I think that Alan Greenspan was involved in the very first Satoshi white paper, and all the cryptocurrencies that were being developed before Satoshi came in. That was his job. He was in charge of the Federal Reserve, in charge of the money system. So this cryptocurrency stuff doesn't start in 2009 when the white paper was posted. It starts way back with the invention of computers in the 80s and 90s. And who was the smartest, most prolific computer programmer on the monetary system all throughout the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s? Alan Greenspan. Absolutely. That's why he was put as the head of the Fed. He controlled the computers that controlled the markets and the system. He's the guy who invented the 2 digits for the year instead of 4. The Y2K problem was Alan Greenspan. He's the guy who programmed it wrong in the 60s. So, yeah, is he Satoshi? I think it is a group within the Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury and the NSA and the CIA and all those guys who work on this stuff behind the scenes. But I do think Alan Greenspan was knee-deep in it, and whatever he says publicly, he doesn't speak the truth at all publicly. He never has. Everything was a hidden agenda. Interesting to note that Steve Jobs, the only guy that Apple Computer ever hired to be their spokesman other than Steve Jobs, was Alan Greenspan in the early 1980s, promoting the Apple IIc and how you could overthrow your government. So yes, Greenspan is the computer guy, brilliant man, did all this stuff completely undercover and hiding. And I would like to see the old system crash and we start into something new before Greenspan dies. He's early 90s now, so he's getting very old. He'll come out and talk every once in a while, and it's kind of sad. It's not sad. It's just he's not as quick and sharp as he was, obviously when he was in his 40s and 50s. Just same as Ron Paul. You see those early days of Ron Paul talking about the need for a sound monetary system and the fight for liberty, and you're like, oh my God, this guy can take America away from these bad guys, and that's what he fought his whole life to do. what he ended up accomplishing was opening the eyes of many of us, myself included, as to what our country should be and where we should go. So we got to carry on the torch and keep going. I would like to say to everybody who's just a gold and silver bug, the cryptocurrencies should be embraced. This is the first time in human history that we were given a tool to take down the banksters and the bad guys. The first time. Gold and silver, they're not there. That whole mentality of gold and silver as money is a lost knowledge. You know, it's going back generations. There's no way we can convince humanity now that we need to go back to a gold and silver standard. First of all, very few people have any gold and silver. Second of all, we have something else that is just as sound, if not definitely easier to use, but just as sound, and it will be soon just as acceptable as the unbacked fiat system, but just as sound as gold and silver, and that is the cryptocurrencies. And those who still don't believe, that's fine. You don't have to believe. The world will move on without you if you don't want to get involved. Clearly, the world is moving on, and I'm deeply involved in it. And I know a lot of people on the road to Ruta are very happy that within the last couple of years they've bought a little Bitcoin, a little Litecoin, got into some of these blockchain companies, and they understand that this is not a flash in the pan, a bubble, or anything like that. This is more like the 1990s with the invention of the World Wide Web. It changed every business and the way we relate to each other. It introduced email and YouTube. All these amazing things came out of it. That's what blockchain technology is, and that's what it's doing to transform business as we know it. So anybody who says stay away, you should stay away from those people, truthfully. They haven't done you well so far, huh? You know, anybody who's told you to stay out of Bitcoin has cost you a boatload of money. And the cryptocurrencies, they've cost you a boatload of money. But it's even more than money. I mean, pretty soon we can see the system start collapsing. And that's going to be a life-saving thing to have a different system to go over to. And that's what I'm really excited about, and what I invest in is those companies that are going to save humanity from itself, from the system that we weren't able to take out on our own. Gold and silver were not able to end the manipulation. We fought as hard as we could, but then we got handed this gift that says, okay, if you use this blockchain technology, which is a truth-based technology, you can change what they were doing in the past. You can set up markets here that are, with Veritasium, that are absolutely truth-based blockchain peer-to-peer exchanges, and these old exchanges that are bank-based, that you got to go through the banks to get your brokerage account, your checking account, your savings account, your trading account, your LBMA, COMEX, silver trading account. All that stuff goes through third parties and banks. Veritasium and the new way, the blockchain way, is peer-to-peer. You and I have an exchange to make. I'm going to give you something of value, and you're going to give me something I want of value. And that's how, there's no need for banks in the middle. You don't need that crap. There's no need for lawyers and no need for contracts. It's all done with smart contracts. Amazing stuff. It takes out all kinds of costs. And that's our future. That's where we're headed. I hope you get that. When you see the volatility of prices of the cryptocurrencies and the crypto tokens based on blockchain, think 2 or 3 years down the line, you're going to see these numbers and tell yourself, oh my God, I could have got Veritasium when it was under $100, and now it's $30,000 a token. That type of thing. It probably won't even be priced in dollars. It'll probably be priced in Litecoin or Bitcoin back then. But the valuation in a company like Veritasium that is really doing things as we speak, and we'll be announcing things over the next few weeks and months, the world is going to wake up, and you have a shot to wake up before the world. So I highly recommend people take that shot. Anyway, it's Saturday. I'm going out to enjoy this 100-degree heat in Oakland. Are you kidding me? Way too hot for me. But yeah, we got a heat wave, so I'm going to try to stay cool and head out to a fair. Not a good idea to stay cool, but that's what I'm doing today. Anyway, hope you guys have a good weekend. 3-day weekend. Not sure how often I'll check in, but I'll try. This is Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. Don't forget to go to the private roads, sign up at roadtoruta.com, and get my top 10 picks of what crypto tokens, cryptocurrencies that I recommend for the following 5, 10, 20, 100 years. That's how exciting that is. We'll talk to you later.